Welcome to Snowray, a web-based application that offers high-quality terminology content management in the healthcare domain. Besides the support for browsing terminology standards like SNOMED CT, ICD-10, or LOINC, the key features include the comprehensive management capability of various resource types, such as code systems, value sets, and concept maps. All this paired with a modern and intuitive UI makes content management easier than ever. This video will guide you through the most important features, but before getting into the thick of it, let's find out more about the fundamentals. Snowray can be accessed from snowray.app, which will take you to the landing page first. Here you can read a bit about the product, but if you direct your attention to the top right corner, you will find these buttons that will take you to the app itself. You can log into Snowray using various social identity providers, or you can also sign up with your email address. Following a successful login, you will be taken to the dashboard page, which provides an overview of all the available resources that you have access to, with SNOMED extensions at the top and all other resources in alphabetical order below. The resource cards contain the key details of a resource, and they are also clickable, so you can open the selected resource. You can also filter the dashboard using the search bar above to get a refined view of the resources. At the same time, the right-hand side of the page is composed of a recent activity section, which lists the latest changes made in the system, including the most important information related to the change itself. Having mentioned searching for resources before, it's worth highlighting the global search bar as well, which is accessible from all pages and performs a system-wide search. The main menu offers navigation to the two other pages, Resources and Issues. The Resources page is a detailed and more functional version of the dashboard page. By default, you are taken to your personal resources page, but if you are part of an organization, you can switch views up here. This page presents the available resources in a list view, and to help identify the different types more easily, resources are displayed with their dedicated icons, which you will notice in other parts of the UI as well. There are also a handful of decorators that make it easier to pinpoint certain properties at a glance, such as status, version tag, or member count. But if you select a resource, the Quick Details panel will be activated on the right-hand side, revealing further details. As for navigation, you have two options. If you click on the title of a resource, you will be taken to the Overview tab of the resource, where you can find the metadata of it, while double-clicking the row will navigate you to the Content tab, where you can take a look at the actual members and components. Moving on to the next menu item is the Issues page, where the issues raised in the system are collected in a global view, ready for further maintenance or review. These issues can be anything, ranging from requests to feedback or even simple notes, and are always linked to a specific resource. They can be quite helpful when it comes to keeping track of your authoring work. Now that we got more familiar with the user interface, let's dig into the details and go over the different resource types through some examples. Starting off, we have bundles that are basically folders where users can collect different resources. By double-clicking on its row, we can go one level down to see its contents. Bundles are not limited to one resource type. The different types can be mixed and matched within. Now let's open this code system and take a look inside. Code systems are essentially a list of concepts that can be utilized in value sets and concept maps. These concepts can form a simple flat list or can be organized into a hierarchical structure. If we click on a concept, we can see the different properties that they have. In this case, we have a property indicating whether the disease is considered acute or not. These properties are maintained in the code system schema, where new properties can be defined as well. For example, we can add a string type property to define the letterity of the finding. And by setting the cardinality, we can also restrict the number of values that can be specified for this property. Moving back to the Content tab, we can extend our code set by adding new concepts and we can also specify values for the predefined properties. Moving on, we have the previously mentioned value sets, which are subsets of a terminology usually focusing on a given context. Let's create a new value set from scratch by clicking here. Besides specifying the title of a resource, we also need to select the domain, which can be any version code system. Sticking with our example, let's build our value set on the code systems that we previously worked with. After pressing Create, the resource opens automatically and we are taken to the Overview tab. To begin authoring, we need to navigate to the Content tab and press Edit. For now, we don't have any members, but if we switch to the Browse tab here, we can see the terminology and add members to the close list, either by drag and drop or by constructing ECL queries. Once we commit the change, we can see that this query results in 6 concepts that form the member list of our value set, and we can also take a look at the actual members here. Value sets can also be based on Snowray City, like this one here. This value set already has members coming from an ECL query, but additional clauses can be added too. We can browse the terminology tree or even search for specific keywords and pick one of the results from there. Not only can we add new clauses, but we can also edit existing ones by modifying the operators or even replacing the concept itself. Our final resource type is concept maps, which are terminology mappings linking components from different code systems or value sets together. In the creation wizard, we need to give a title and also select the source and target domains. These can be code systems or value sets, which can easily be set using these radio buttons here. Let's select our code system as the source domain and the previously seen value set as the target. Selecting a code system as a source domain will always add the complete terminology to the source side, so if we would like to constrain our source list, we can specify an ECL query. For now, we can leave it as it is, as our code system is not that extensive. After the resource is created, we can move over to its content page, where the concepts of the source domain are already loaded in a table. To make changes, we need to enter editing mode, which will reveal the target domain on the right-hand side. Map targets can be added manually or in an automated way based on lexical matches. The Auto Map feature can be accessed after pressing this button and selecting the source concept. The process completes in a couple of seconds, and we can take a look at the result in the table. Auto-map map targets can be replaced, or we can even add additional targets to the same source concept if we switch to the focus view. One too many mappings can have the same relation type, but multiple relation types can also be specified for the same source. In such cases, additional mapping rows will be added to the table, and the number of mappings will also increase accordingly. Once we are happy with the content and all resource is considered to be complete, we can move on to the last step of the authoring flow, release management. For that, we need to create a version first, with which we can indicate that the current state of our resource is ready for publication. To do that, we need to go over to the Releases tab and begin the process by clicking this button. After filling the mandatory fields, we can create the version, which then will be listed on the Releases tab timeline. Publishing a release works the same for all resource types. Finally, we can also export our content if we want to distribute it among teammates or stakeholders. Hovering over the Export button reveals the available export format for each resource type, and if we select one of the options, the export process will automatically start. With that, we have covered the basics of Snowray. We hope you find this video useful. Feel free to visit snowray.app to try these features out yourself. And if you are interested in more, stop by our online user guide where you will find a detailed description of all the features of Snowray. Thanks for watching.